Tom Brady. On Memorial Day, when most people be chilling at home, Tom Brady is appearing on Fox Sports talking about the Chiefs, because what else is he going to do in his retirement? I know he's a Fox employee now, but he still lives rent free in Tom Brady's mind. So, he mentioned there's a chance that the Chiefs could three-peat, but he's cautiously optimistic. And as our thumbnail states, he's doesn't give us, the biggest chance that size. But he said it would be a big challenge for sure. And then I don't think any of us would disagree with that sentiment. It's something that's never been done in the NFL before, and let alone last year, the Chiefs winning back-to-back, something that hasn't happened since Tom Brady in 20 years before that. So
right.
The NFL has obviously changed, and it's not meant to have continuous repeat champions. And hasn't been teased even since the mid-90s Cowboys, and they were a year in between to break up that routine. But the Chiefs, they're obviously working towards it. The chants at the parade were all about three-peating, so they knew back-to-back was kind of sketchy, so they didn't really do that last time. But they're on the three-peat wagon for sure. They're living that mantra. We know they have got a tough schedule ahead, and the sporadic, game days that they have, and that'll be towards the end of the show we got today. But based on what Tom Brady said and the fact that he doesn't give us the greatest chance to pull the three-peat off, Dale, we'll start with you. What percentage would you give the Chiefs' chances to getting this done?
100%. No, I'm not gonna be delusional like that, y'all. Honestly, I'm really at the 50% mark, just because like we know that it's gonna be a hard task to do. But I do think that the team that we built this year, right as of now in the offseason, I do think is gonna be better than what we had last year. Now I do know we have some notable losses that we had within the offseason with Jerry Sneed, Willie Gay leaving as well. But offensively, I mean, we didn't have anything that really affected us at all. I mean, no offense, but Marquez Valdez-Scantling, he came through in the playoffs and he made a couple of plays. But with the guys that we got in now, like Hollywood Brown and also Xavier Worthy, they're going to be able to do this in the regular season and also going into the postseason. So I think just adding that type of firepower onto the offense, that's going to actually help us out going into this season. The reason why I think Tom Brady is, not as optimistic or feel like there is small chances that this can happen, because his team wasn't able to do it. And I don't think it's any envy, but to be honest, that was probably the best dynasty we saw up until he left, and then of course Bill Belichick leaving as well too. I mean, they did have consistent two-peats. They did have a time to where they won multiple Super Bowls in a row. So it's like he looking at it to the point to where, like, in this day and age now, where I feel like he thinks that the game has evolved, and in a way we do have a lot of elite athletes as well too. Eventually people are not gonna, they're gonna go hard with the Chiefs. Anytime they play them, they're gonna play their best. We might have moments that we had last year as well too, but I do think that Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, all those leaders, they're looking at this season as this could be the one, because they already cemented their legacy as of now, winning 3 Super Bowls together. That we already have the talks of the dynasty being established now. They have a chance to where they can do what every other franchise has not done before, is go ahead and do a three-peat. That way we're at the mantle of something that we're by ourselves. You can never erase us at all. You can hate us, you can dislike us, but you can never say this franchise has did anything that someone else hasn't done as well too. And he's afraid of that because he's the GOAT. He has 7 championships. I wasn't able to do that. I am the ultimate winner. I am the ultimate leader. I put my heart out there. Honestly, I lost my family because of this. I don't want anyone to outdo me, but I'm sorry, Tom. Patrick is going to outdo you. And it's okay. He came from this type of lifestyle. His I understand. I'm not gonna say Patrick Mahomes here was the greatest pitcher of all time. He's definitely not that. But when you're in a locker room with those type of players of the Derek Jeters, the Alec Rodriguez, all of those guys who won multiple championships, know how to be leaders in the locker room, know how to elevate other guys around them. You take that in when you're a sponge when you're younger. Tom, you wasn't as athletic when you came out of Michigan. Honestly, I don't know how much of a football fan or how much you played in those later days. And that don't mean anything though. But he has all the tools. He has it all. He has the athleticism. He has the arm. He has the IQ. He has the rings now. He has the MVP awards. All pros. He's doing that at 28. He'll be 29 by the time the season starts in his 8th season. You didn't almost play 20. He did this in 8. That's why he's worried. And I think he still has that competitive, nature in him as well, too, where it's like, man, you're going to make me really come out of retirement because I got to hold on to something. He's stingy. That's why he's salty. But it's cool. But I respect him because he retired as well. Of course, hated him when he played. Always have love for Tom. You're going to be at the GOAT status for a while. But if Mahomes do that, he's going to have a 3-peat and he's going to have 4 Super Bowls. That means he's going to be tied with Joe Montana already. He's going to be already sitting at number 2 in year 8. That's a lot to worry about. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah, and I just think Tom Brady is feeding the lion here, putting a steak out for the lion, dropping some chicken in the lion's den, whatever you want to call it. He's just kind of enticing them here, giving him some Michael Jordan or Brady type bulletin board material. I give the Chiefs about 45% chance to 3-peat too. I think they can do it. We do have things we need to figure out though, offensively and defensively. We're not going to sit here and act like there aren't question marks at certain positions. Now we did lose L'Jarius Sneed, so we do know that we have enough corners to cover there, but we kind of don't know how we're going to supplement for that job. And then we also did lose guys to the likes of Jed McKinnon and just different guys on the offense. So you got to like MBS and different guys like that. So you have to learn how to supplement their losses as well too. And people haven't clicked with Mahomes always either. We haven't seen the Hollywood Brown in live action with live bullets with pads on. Now we've heard about it running routes on air against nobody, and it looks great. We know that, but we have to see it live. When people are hitting each other and the bullets are really live and they're all coming. So I just want to, I'm not super confident in it yet because I haven't seen it before, but it's going to be a change. So I think with that change, it's going to help them get advantage on their opponents. They're not seeing the same offense that they just were seeing last year whatsoever. These are 2 totally different offenses. I think it's got a ton more explosive. The middle of the field will be a lot more wide open for Travis Kelce to do a lot more work now that he has a ton of field stretchers. So it'll be different. The team will look different. But I don't want to say that they're automatically, yes, they're just going to go back in 3-peat because that's the homer in me thinking, yes, nobody can beat them. Being super confident, not on the podcast. But I'm trying to be realistic here. And yes, I think I give them about a 45% chance to 3-peat. And I just think Tom Brady is just throwing it out there, telling Mahomes, come get it. Show me that you want it. Because I'm the one that's going to be commentating your games now. And if you think that I'm going to try and put you over or put you over me, you better think again. So be up to the challenge. So I think that's what he's doing. So that's it.
Okay. Well, anybody who followed us last season knows that I wasn't that very confident in our ability to win the Super Bowl, let alone make it to the Super Bowl with the way the offense was playing, and thought the defense couldn't hold them together. And it seems like this offseason, yes, they lost 2 of their main starters on defense, but they have decided that the offense is where all of the firepower should go, and they've been reloading that. We will have to see if the beginning of the season ends up being a detriment and kind of hindering the chances. But initially, my thoughts would be the same as last year, or even in Super Bowl 57 against Eagles, and say like a 33% chance, maybe. But if there was a team, if there was a quarterback and a coach that you would have that confidence towards, it would be Patrick and Andy. And that pairing, like, except for not having an offensive line and having enough time to throw the ball in a Super Bowl, they've managed to get it done. So I think just for the fact of who we have, I'm upping it to 60%. And that's probably a little generous, but if there was going to be any team, especially in this 2020s era, to get the job done and officially get the three-peat, I mean, who else would it be? We just saw Bill Belichick get fired from a team that won, 6 Super Bowls, and that's not enough history to keep your job if you have 2 bad seasons and lose your franchise quarterback. Andy knows the value of Patrick Mahomes, and so all they're doing is feeding the pillars around Patrick. They gave Chris Jones his extension to make sure that he stays hungry and dominant and satisfied for the next several seasons. They make sure Travis Kelce is back and he's well compensated for his efforts. And they saw the kind of diminished return for their wide receiver core and got a Hollywood Brown as that insurance policy. And so if there was going to be a team to do it, I think this is it. And this should have happened, decades before this. And with the salary cap era, it seemed almost implausible. But they've gone to show the blueprint that if you have the best quarterback and an innovative and team-friendly head coach, and you build around those and feed those 2 guys what they like in terms of roster buildup, I give them a really good chance. We saw a bunch of other teams in the NFL get worse or have to kind of bite the bullet and sit on the salary cap casualties. Buffalo is one of them. The Bengals right now don't have either of their wide receiver weapons in camp, so that's not a good start. I think the biggest obstacle for the Chiefs is going to be on the NFC side, and you've got several teams, namely San Francisco, who are going to come out trying to slay the dragon, and it will remain to be seen whether they can actually get it done. They're definitely going to be hungrier, but the history shows how hard it is to make the Super Bowl, period, let alone make the Super Bowl after you lost the Super Bowl the prior season. And that is not a good indicator. So the Chiefs are on a warpath right now, and they got lucky last year by going against their script on how they like to win games. And this season, they went right back to their tried and true methods. And I am very excited to see how training camp shapes up, see if it starts translating into regular games and going from there. But I do agree that Tom Brady might just be talking a little bit out of envy because it took him a while and he had the defensive team around him to get the job done. And it took him, 8, 10 plus years into the league before he started getting talked out as one of the best quarterbacks, where Patrick was starting in his second season, first actual starting season, and got thrown into that category immediately. So I think the talent levels are a little skewed in that regard. And I'm just excited to see what the rest of Patrick's career looks like, because he knows he's hunting for Brady, and Brady knows that he's hunted for as well.
All right.
Exactly. And why don't I think you just say, Clinton, you should just start your topic off by saying, why don't you take your analysis and stick it where the sun don't shine, Mr. Brady? Because I'm a super homer, and I just went 60% over me and Dale's 50 and 45%. I just think Clinton is just sharing the same sentiment. I think you, like you said, I think they're back to the team that you love. So I think that's why you feeling that way. So, but yeah, go ahead, Dale. I'm sorry. That's what I just want to say.
But along with that, when you was talking about coaching, with you have an innovative and team friendly coach along with one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but they do have a three-headed monster, and I really think that they found the structure of what you should have in an organization. And I shout out the Chiefs front office with that, because after the removal of Bob Sutton, Andy Reid was very key in on bringing in Steve Spagnuolo, and bringing him in when you have a guy that you can rely on, where you know that you're more of an offensive minded coach and you're the head coach at that. I want the other guy who handled the other side of the ball to basically be someone who's a head coach as well too, and I don't have to go over there and do anything. Of course, being the head coach, I'm going to go over there, have to do my due diligence, build that relationship, build that rapport and everything like that, because you see that he loved Chris Jones. But when it comes into the scheme and how the game's played, that's all up to Spags. And when you can rely on a guy to do that on the other side, I think that makes it better for your organization. Even if you have a defensive-minded head coach, I would say this for DeMeco Ryans over there in Houston: you need to find your offensive coordinator that can go ahead. You know that he's going to find the perfect scheme, the perfect setup for my boy CJ Stroud. And once you have that going and they have their system running over there, that will bring a lot of accomplishments and success over to that organization. Now, you're not going to probably be able to beat the team all the time who has started this trend. And of course, with us being ahead right now with the experience and also the chemistry, we have that already built right there. So it's going to be times where you have to find your way in when it may not be the best year for the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think what we're all saying right here, right now, we know what the Patriots dynasty was like, but we see this team within this era who has actually unlocked the key into what you're supposed to do within this generation of football that we're handling right now. The game has shifted to offense. Andy Reid being on that trend for a long time, he's going to have the ups on everybody already. So while y'all trying to catch up and was depending on a good running back play and also having a great defense, no, you got to find a guy who can go out there, throw it in weird angles. He does stuff that's untimely. That's why he's winning. Because the thing is, when he's on time, they're going to play great. And typically, Reed, he's going to put his quarterback in position. But when you have somebody who want to throw a no-look pass, who wants to try to do a backward pass in the game, we're going to see if he actually pull that off. It's like, what can I do? Because the league is showing you that, hey, defensively, you can't do as much. So, Brady, I think that's why you hate as well too. You wish you was in this era of football where the offense was great. You probably would have slammed down and be like, "Hey, I could do all this." It's okay, bro. It's all right. You set the stage for everyone. It's all right. It's good.
And Dale, I want to add to that, because the league is very much offensive driven regardless, and we praise Spags and praise Andy, and they're older. I don't want to insult them in any way,
right.
but they are older, so therefore they're more experienced, so therefore there's not that demand to bring them away from the current situation. I think we all think DeMeco Ryans is a good head coach, and let's say they do have that offensive coordinator that really shines, he's going to be gone the following season to be a head coach somewhere else.
True.
And the Bills are a testament to that. They have their defensive coach in Sean McDermott. Brian Daboll made Josh Allen look like MVP caliber, and then he got hired on for the New York Giants. True. So that's just how the NFL works. If you want an offensive coach, he's got to be your head coach, because otherwise, if you start showing some sparks and you got a defensive-minded head coach, that coordinator is getting swooped up, and you're start from scratch again. And this Chiefs team is experienced all the way through, and it's going to be tough. You got to have lightning strike twice to manage to get through that. So, but we're excited for how the season turns out. We're going to stay optimistic and assume that they get the job. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media.
If you enjoyed that, make sure to check out the full-length episode below.